up, but we're live in West Palm Beach, Florida. It's the Opie and Anthony Show. On the way, listen to this. Well, actually, right after the break, we have to talk about Pat from Moonachie.
Yep. A big scandal.
The baby bird video, by the way, from our eggnog drinking contest. Something happened since we went off the air yesterday and this morning. It's up to 1.1 million views on Break.com. This video is taking over the world. And I go to Steve. I'm like, come on, Steve, something's going on. That he goes, no, man, this is legit. People are linking to this video all over the place, and it's now up to 1.1 million views.
It's hit that point
on
where,
Break.com.
Yeah, now it just runs.
That's only one website. And then other websites like GorillaMass.net and even our sites, Opie and Anthony and Foundry Music. This video is being viewed, whatever. Use your own adjective. It's nuts at this point. I was going to say like crazy, but I say that all the time.
Hotcakes? It's being viewed like hotcakes.
No!
I think the hotcakes is something else.
And they let you off the hook. No sour cream on hot dogs.
Well, yeah, you're right, but that's
still funny. But no sour cream on hot dogs. I'm thinking throughout my whole life, did I ever have a hot dog with sour cream on it?
I kind of had to.
Viewed like a crap house rat.
No.
Oh, because that's like crazy like.
No. Viewed like an empty boat.
Yeah, well, no.
And now there's a website called thebabybirdvideo.com.
Wow.
It's taken over, I'm telling you.
What's on it, that site?
But here is the latest, because you know the Opie and Anthony show is all about soap operas. Philbin, that's Pat from Moonachie, shoots his last load with the IFOCE.
Which, by the way, is the International Food... what's the O?
I don't know. Overeating.
What the hell does it mean?
Of America? I don't know. What does IFOCE mean?
International...
Federation of Competitive Eaters. Or eating.
I'm fat.
Yeah.
Here's the headline, and we'll get into it next. And we'll read this press release because we don't even know if this is real. I got to be honest with you. It seems a little weird. But basically, here's the headline, and we'll get into it next. Pat from Moonachie, because of the baby bird video from the eggnog drinking contest, has been kicked out of competitive eating.
He's a competitive eater. Every year, for the past couple of years, he's been at the big Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating contest. I believe he was ranked 15th overall in the world of competitive eating. He goes all over the place, Atlantic City for the meatball eating contest and potato eating contest, all these things. And they're sanctioned by this IFOCE. Apparently they had a problem with what he did, and he has been thrown out of the organization.
And we'll get into that next, okay? We'll read this ridiculous press release, but they mentioned the St. Pat's incident. They mentioned the Rob Lowe video.
Yeah, so it's like until we get an actual spokesman from this group on here to confirm this, I'm calling a little bit of what they call Bravo Sierra.
Well,
I'm very skeptical.
We're going to get Pat from Moonachie on the phone. We'll have an interview with him. We'll be able to tell if this is real or not.
Because I know jackasses from maybe FBA or Whackbag or one of the other sites, they love to play little jokes on us that perhaps this is one of them.
We don't know for sure.
Now look at us. We're speculating.
We are speculating.
As to what the message boards are up to. See? It works both ways.
All right, well, we'll get into the press release next. It's unbelievable, but the headline, Pat from Moonachie has been kicked out of the competitive eating club, the IFOCE, because of the baby bird video.
Poor fat bastard.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show. We're back with the Opie and Anthony Show, live from West Palm Beach, Florida. All right, we got to get into this Pat from Moonachie thing. So we did the eggnog drinking contest on Friday. It was a huge hit this year. Pat from Moonachie set the record at 75-76 double shots of eggnog. And then Joe Rogan, who was in studio from Fear Factor, came up with this idea to do what's now called the baby bird, thanks to Than. We had Pat Duffy, who's now an intern on this fine radio show starting in January. lean over a big, huge garbage pail.
He bent over backwards.
Yeah, he was like leaned back like you lean back to get your hair washed before a haircut.
Right.
And then Pat just unloaded bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket of eggnog. And, of course, everyone's talking about the video.
Well, yeah, I'll clear it up, too. Not out of buckets.
No, of course.
It was out of his stomach.
Yeah, of course. He just
vomited all over this guy's face.
I've never seen anyone puke more in my life.
No.
Never.
Fire hosed him.
And like I said, it's on break.com. It's up to 1.1 million views. And to be honest with you, we were going to start to move on from the eggnog drinking contest. Yeah. We really were. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, we're on our way to Boca, and our emails and our phones start going nuts. And we got word that Pat from Moonachie, because of the eggnog drinking contest and because he did this baby bird video, he got kicked out of the IFOCE. See, I thought like competitive eating was just a goof. I really thought it was just a goof. But
anybody goes up, signs up for it. They pick a few people. You go up and you shove a bunch of hot dogs in your face.
Yeah,
that's it.
And aren't they puking during these contests? By the way.
Yes, some people lose it.
But they don't make a big deal about it,
They don't put the camera on them when it happens.
Right. So
on a televised event.
So they keep that behind.
Yeah, they don't want that to be part of it. They want the eating to be part of it, not the getting rid of it.
Right.
Yeah. I know, it's distracting, too. Jim. Steve with his tank top and his freshly shaved, where his chest hair meets his neck hair.
Looks like two different torsos put together. Smooth arms and a monkey chest. Monkey chest. Make me sick.
Here, Steve.
Yeah.
Love you, Steve.
So
no, you don't.
So we're trying to get to the bottom of this. So you got an email from Pat from Moonachie?
Yeah, I just got the email that Pat was sent last night from I guess he's the commissioner of the IFOCE.
There's a commissioner.
Yeah.
Charles Hardy.
Ew.
What is it? Well, this guy is George Shea.
Oh, George Shea.
This is the guy that I spoke to the night of that the St. Patrick's Day thing when we were going to do that egg eating competition.
Right.
And he stepped in and said, well, if you're going to do a competitive eating competition with our eaters, it's got to be sanctioned, and we need to get paid, and we need this fee, and we need these people on staff.
That's not what it's about.
Yeah, this guy's like the Don King of competitive eating, apparently. And I spent a half hour getting on the phone, getting schooled by this guy as to the rules of competitive eating, which I had really no idea
about. Now, let me
about.
ask you something. Was he serious when you were talking to him?
Quite.
Because this press release we're about to read is filled with, like, goofs.
Yeah.
Silly things.
Yeah, he was dead serious. This is they look at it as a sport, and if you're going to have these guys competing in these eating contests, it's got to be, you've got to have certain things in place. You've got to pay your fees. You have to have certain people on hand to monitor the whole thing.
No, I'm listening to you.
So this is the email that Pat got from George last night, dismissing him from the organization.
And can I say I'm reading this?
Yeah.
And George Shea, who is, I guess, whatever he does, this guy, he's so awful. I'm reading this email. He's like a parody of a jerk-off.
Yeah.
The fact that this ass thinks this nonsense is a real thing.
That has any type of dignity that needs to be protected.
The fact that this ass thinks that competitive eaters are somehow viable athletes or men to be taken seriously. You are a boob, George. You're a bunch of gluttonous scumbags who shove hot dogs down their throats so we can laugh at you.
That's right.
That's what you do.
But somewhere along the line, they've decided to turn this into a serious sport.
A sport where they call the competitors, athletes.
Yeah.
It has to be sanctioned. What do you win? A gold colon?
Yeah, their trophies are pretty ridiculous.
What a bunch of dopes.
So, Steve, what is the email from Pat? This is the email that Pat got last night.
This is the email that Pat got last night from
And this
George
is
Shea.
real. This is not some guy being ironic.
No, this is real. This is...
If someone said you're going to be in a movie, be a jerk-off, this is what you do.
Pat, it is with great sadness that I must inform you that via edict by the IFOCE commissioner, you are hereby expelled from the IFOCE for conduct unbecoming an eater. Or and eater, sorry.
Unbecoming, conduct unbecoming
Like Jimmy
an eater.
said, they're a bunch of gluttons.
Conduct unbecoming an eater. What did he do? Show restraint? Have 1 ounce of self-esteem? You apparently got laid when you were a teenager. That's conduct unbecoming an eater. You douche.
A recent video in which you purposely engage in an effluvic. Thank you, Keith.
What is that?
Who knows?
I don't know. I've never seen that word.
No one has ever seen effluvic.
Effluvic interchange with another individual breaches the IFOCE code of conduct in numerous ways, and the IFOCE cannot condone this behavior by including you in its ranks.
Hey, don't ever engage in an effluvic interchange.
Well, can we look up fluvic, please?
No, it's
I got
effluvic.
lost coming here because I took the effluvic interchange and I was supposed to wait and make the next
Actually,
right.
you might have to take tomorrow off because I think you got some effluvic in you.
Effluvic.
I can't believe she got pregnant. She had her effluvics tied. This George is
What's supposed to happen?
This guy is a boob square.
Yeah. What's the rest of the email?
You are now delisted from the IFOCE rankings, and you are no longer qualified to participate in IFOCE events or to call yourself a major league eater.
And this is why George Shea is a dope. He capitalized the M, the L, and the E in Major League Eater like it's baseball or football.
Exactly.
You jackass. It's a bunch of fat guys and a few soulless Asians shoving hot dogs in their face in a gang-infested dump in New York. Coney Island is a slum. It's a slum, George. Bunch of fat pigs eating in a slum.
Just trying to fill up the sadness inside themselves.
It's the only thing that gets people to that god-awful boardwalk.
Right, it's just...
Competitive eating and riff. It's gang activity or fat people shoving hot dogs with water. How do you eat hot dogs like that? George, you are an ass. The IFOC cannot condone it. Really, can't it? Effluvic behaviors are not tolerated.
Wait till we read this part of the whole story. But get
Okay.
is that the end of that?
One more sentence. This unfortunate incident has sullied your reputation and besmirched the honor of all eaters.
Do you know, besmirched, Jeffrey Dahmer is an eater. Hitler was an eater.
Besmirched.
Oh, he has sullied his reputation. And all the dignity you have, when you're dipping buns and hot dogs in water. When you're eating pig intestines that have been tubed off and dipping them in water. All the dignity that brings you and your family. How could you sully that?
Nonetheless, I wish you Godspeed and good luck in your endeavors. Yours sincerely, George Shea.
Godspeed. How fast can you go? You've just eaten.
You fatso.
Fat pigs.
Well, the comments are coming in here. On the instant feedback, we got Stephen S. from Bayshore. I think the reason they threw Pat out was because he claimed to have a girlfriend. That would make him the first competitive eater in history. Oh, no, it updated.
Yeah, maybe that's
in history to make the bold and unusual move. Wow. Do we know what effluvic means yet?
Well,
I would think it's some type of fluid transfer, right? Bodily fluid.
Well, Dan looked up effluvial.
Oh, okay.
Is number one, a usually invisible emanation of exhalation as a vapor or gas, a byproduct or residue, waste, which covers all of them. The odorous fumes given off by waste or decaying matter. An impalpable emanation and aura. Wow.
Effluvic.
He went deep for that word.
We learned today.
Of course.
All right.
I would love to get to this.
So where was this posted, Anthony? Do we know?
This is on some type of IFOCE fan site.
It had to be. It should have been on doesn'tUseCommas.com.
Yeah, I know.
What an
Jeez.
idiot.
How about a paragraph? Philbin shoots his last load with the IFOCE is the title, and it goes on. Pat from Moonachie, the most colorful and controversial figure ever to don the IFOCE stripes, had his brief but entertaining competitive eating career cut short after puking up what appeared to be a tidal wave worth of eggnog over a willing but demented participant. George Shea and the IFOCE went on record as saying that this conduct goes down as one of the most deplorable and disgusting acts ever performed on another human being.
And you can see it on Break.com.
So that covers what happened in concentration camps.
Yeah, right.
What serial killers did to their victims.
And I'll tell you one thing, George. I have to correct you. My hard drive says there's a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way,
oh, well, he did say human beings. You know,
wait for
horses.
Wait for the quote from the Bible. It's coming up as Anthony continues.
Ew.
Yeah, if Opie and Anthony were banned from radio for having sex performed in St. Patrick's Cathedral, but then he has the wrong type of sex. Yeah. He has, like, above the waist.
And if we say what type of sex, he's going to have to dump out.
Well, he has above this waist type of sex quoted here, and that never happened.
Well,
just stop it.
Yeah, you could.
Then they should be permanently banned from this planet. We should be banned from the planet, Opie, for coercing Pat Philbin to perform such a despicable act.
How about this? How about most of the competitive eaters be banned from this planet, or at least the uncles that molested them and caused them to need to fill this void? How about they be
food
banned?
Down their throat.
Yeah, whoever touched you whoever fumbled with you.
Commissioner Charles Hardy handed down the final verdict around 11 a.m. Eastern Time on December 4th, 2006, a day that will live in infamy. That's what it says here. A day that will live in infamy. Hardy had this to say, and I quote, "I gave him plenty of rope and he used it all. I warned him not once but twice to lay off the eggnog, SH," and then some blank lettering goes on there, little salty language, "and he ignored my demands. Heaving on another human being can cause serious repercussions such as AIDS or other communicable diseases."
What?
What?
All this time? I didn't know it was that easy to do.
Yeah.
I could have just thrown up on people.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt.
happened.
Really fast. CompetitiveEatingNews.com has more dandy quotes. Someone is letting us know. Cody from Dallas, thanks for the heads up.
Hey, do you have to join that site? Because I think that maybe a lot of our fans would have things to say. What's the website on there?
Oh, the O&A Pests are going to have a ball the next couple of days.
CompetitiveEatingNews.com?
Yeah. Let's go
I remember when Arthur Ashe puked all over Mr. Brady. Are you looking for something, or shall I continue?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Anthony. Yeah, I'm good.
It goes on. Pat Philbin is the first ever member of the IFOCE to receive what appears to be a permanent ban from the IFOCE. Shockwaves have triggered all over the eating community. Shockwaves have triggered all over the eating community?
It's from them walking.
Yeah. As well as the sponsors that run O&A, including the infamous Whack Bag Crew and Foundry Music. What?
They're sponsors, you ill-informed idiots?
This guy's an idiot. EatsFeats.com, known as the hangout of the competitive eating world, was flooded with so many Pat from Moonachie comments regarding his termination that O.J. Rifkin had to close comments for an hour because the wires were so backed up.
Is this a real press release?
Now, the wires were so backed up? What is this, a switchboard in 1860?
You don't understand. This O.J. Rifkin doesn't take any bunk.
O.J. Rifkin.
Sounds like
he takes two names.
Of a whackbagger.
It's O.J. is a killer, and Joel Rifkin.
And Joel Rifkin
is a killer. There isn't an O.J. Rifkin. This is such a goof. We're not buying this statement.
We got to find out what's real and what's not
this
real.
This is a post, by the way.
An hour, or because the wires were so backed up.
Yeah.
Philbin had always considered O&A his bread and butter, even though they never paid him a dime for his services. However, he has become sort of a cult figure, gaining immense popularity amongst the degenerates of radio, making frequent appearances on the show while being mocked and ridiculed in almost every appearance. They've gone as far as poking fun at his diabetes, his skin condition, and his missing toe. Commish Hardy will admit he is not an O&A fan, had words with Opie this past March after they attempted to get Badlands Booker to participate in an egg-eating contest. But of course, we realized that was Steve.
Yeah, I never talked to the guy.
And Opie sounds like a homosexual.
Easy. Philbin is scheduled to be a possible guest on BB Corner's Christmas special coming up in a few weeks. Badlands Booker, I guess, Christmas special in a few weeks. Will certainly have a huge fan base ready to call in and voice their opinions regarding his ban from competitive eating. Many people thought that Pat's career as an eater always played second fiddle to his stints on ONA, but there are reports that Philbin is quite upset and is yet to be reached for comment. It appears that Xmas came early as the IFOCE handed him a Christmas present he will never forget.
And by the way, this is not the press release that we were reading yesterday in the car down to Boca.
It's not a press release.
This is somebody's statement that they made on a blog or a message board.
Where's the one where they were quoting from the Bible?
Yeah, where's that one?
It was on all our Blackberries. Can we find that?
By the way, Pat's career as an eater, this is not a career.
It's not.
It's just disgusting indulgence.
If you go to Whackbag, I think that was on the first post on Whackbag. Somebody cut and paste that.
That's the one we really want. Can we find that? All right, on the phone, Anthony, is Pat from Moonachie.
Oh, thank God, his first statement. This is breaking news.
We'll find out what's real and what's not real after we step aside for a minute or two here, okay?
All right.
All right. It's the Opie and Anthony Show. Good morning. We're back with the Opie and Anthony Show, live from West Palm Beach, Florida. 62 degrees down here. Cloudy. We got a lot of controversy this morning. Pat from Moonachie has been kicked out of the IFOCE, if you're just tuning in.
Can you believe it?
Because of our eggnog drinking contest and because he did the baby bird to end the whole competition this year. And IFOCE, I guess, what? They're taking themselves way too seriously?
Apparently so.
The fact they capitalized Major League and Eater shows that they really think that they're an organization that is of the same ilk as Major League Baseball or the National Football League.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not.
Well, it's competitive eating. That's what Pat did when he wasn't, coming on our show or delivering packages in his crappy van. He did this.
Yeah.
It was all he had, by the way. This is all he had.
Here's what they do. Once a year at Coney Island, that slum that Jimmy was
it's not once
about.
A year anymore. I mean, well, that is, but they have...
Yeah, I'm just saying, once a year, 4th of July.
That's like the Super Bowl.
They have that, right.
Okay.
And that is what is televised. That's the only thing, and it's a goof thing. Like, they televise it, and the commentators, like, goof on it, and it's a joke. But all year round, they're all over the country, I guess the world, eating other things. Meatballs.
Right.
Pig's knuckles.
Calamari.
Yeah. Whatever they could shove down their gullets.
Pretty much they have a record for every food now.
Yeah, potatoes.
Because when the competitors come up for the Coney Island hot dog eating contest, he set the record for whatever, hard-boiled eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs.
At room temperature.
But no one ever hears about this. No one knows about it except for their own little group.
Right.
The only thing that gets any press is the Coney Island hot dog eating thing. And they think everyone knows about their organization. No one even knows that organization puts on that thing. They think it's just something that happens at Coney Island.
Yep. I thought Coney Island.
I thought Coney Island or Nathan's.
Nathan's. I thought Nathan's put it on every year.
Nathan's put it on.
They're just a big sponsor, I guess, right?
So they have this organization, the IFOCE, the International Federation of Competitive Eaters. and Pat he joined because he wanted to be at the 4th of July thing at Nathan's. He qualified. He got in. He didn't do very well, but he was in it.
But he has a ranking as far as...
ranking.
Or he used to, as far as the IFOCE goes.
Right.
So anyway, what's the breaking news? Pat from Moonachie expelled from IFOCE. This is an official piece of news, right?
Oh, yes. This is breaking news. Right from the what website is this from, Steve? CompetitiveEatingNews.com.
All right.
Where all competitive eaters or fans of competitive eating can go for all the news they need.
There are no fans of competitive eating.
Of course there aren't.
No one is going wants to join the mailing list and wants to get the card. They don't have cards.
No. I have a fantasy league based on it.
The greatest enemy of competitive eating is the stomach stapling and self-esteem.
Well, here's what this one says.
Okay.
Breaking news, Pat from Moonachie expelled from IFOCE. Sources report that Pat Philbin, a.k.a. Pat from Moonachie, has been expelled from the IFOCE for conduct unbecoming an eater. While Commissioner Charles Hardy would not discuss the issue, many believe it was prompted by the recent video in which Moonachie, they call him Moonachie, like that's his name, in which the entire town of Moonachie engaged in an effluvic interchange with another individual. In a portion of an email message obtained by CEN, IFOCE Chair George Shea said, quote, "You are now delisted from the IFOCE rankings, and you are no longer qualified to participate in IFOCE events or to call yourself a major league eater. This unfortunate incident has sullied your reputation and besmirched the honor of all eaters. Nonetheless, I wish you Godspeed and good luck in your endeavors. Yours sincerely, George Shea." Reached at IFOCE headquarters. Headquarters? Is there headquarters?
Yeah, it's a Burger King in Ronkonkoma.
Pigs. George Shea also refused to comment on the expulsion. He offered, however, this, in this time of trial, Pat may want to turn to 2 Corinthians, wherein he may find guidance from Paul's discourse on suffering fools gladly. This is the latest in a long string of celebrity video scandals that dates all the way back to Rob Lowe's 1988 video Indiscretions with 2 women in Atlanta at the Democratic National Convention. So this is the last in this line of video celebrities. Jesus. They called him Mr. Moonachie.
You know, I think obviously his organization, doesn't take themselves too seriously, but the fact remains they kicked poor Pat from Moonachie out of the IFOCE. He loved that competitive eating crap. And without further ado, well, we got the echo.
Without further ado, let's get some echo. Now eating.
Let me see if this works. Pat from Moonachie.
Number 0, all of them.
Pat. Hey, here he is. Okay, we got him.
Hi, Pat.
Yes, Pat from Moonachie is now on our phone.
Oh, yesterday it was, hi, guys. Now it's,
pardon my voice, I'm feeling a little stressed these days.
Oh, has stress gotten your voice all screwy?
I think so.
Were you weeping all night or something?
Maybe a couple tears slipped out.
How's your girlfriend?
Fluid.
Effluvic.
How's your girlfriend?
She's just fine.
Oh, good.
How do you feel about being booted out, Pat?
Booted. I don't feel good. One thing I wanted to point out, I was never warned not to do the eggnog drinking contest. All I was told at the egg challenge I did for Clerks 2, they told me, next time let us know before you do it. That's all they ever told me.
It's funny that you're that's just going to be his argument in front of the commission. Look, no one ever told me not to vomit into the mouth of another man.
So this is real. This is real, Pat. You're definitely kicked out, right? Definitely. You lost your ranking. You were ranked what in the world?
I originally was 10th in the world, and then last few contests I kind of tanked in, so I dropped to 20. They just re-ranked me at 24, and then I just checked the website, and I'm not even in the rankings.
Let me tell you something, Pat. I'm happy they booted you. It's the best thing for you. Enough of the food obsession. You want to work on this chick. You like this girl. You got to let this part of your life go anyway. Enough with the competitive eating. Your whole life doesn't have to revolve around food. You've done it. Screw this dumb organization. They're capitalizing on your addiction.
It was his life.
No, it wasn't his life.
The eggnog
it was better for you, Pat.
Into competitive eating, and it looks like the eggnog contest will get me out of competitive eating.
Oh, boy, Pat. short career.
How has the last 24 hours gone for you? Getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of support. What's going on? Give us a feel that of the world of Pat from Moonachie.
Oh yeah, everybody's my phone messages have filled up. I haven't been able to check any of them.
Stomach.
You haven't been able to check it. He never had to. He never got one before.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's got one in it.
Every time he check, I'm sorry, Pat.
The great pests ready on the battle lines, willing to fight my battle for me.
Yeah, if we didn't think this was so despicable, the organization, we would try to get you back in. I'm still mulling this over, thinking, should we try to appeal this and get him back in, or is it in his best interest to just find another hobby?
Yeah, isn't the IFOCE all about getting publicity? They really love publicity.
Wait, yeah. Well, they're a marketing company, so that's what they're all about.
So maybe they're getting some discussions here, and maybe they'll bring you back into the organization in a week or so.
Maybe. Oh yeah, people have been reinstated.
So maybe they get a little publicity from this whole event, from the Baby Bird video, and then they invite you back in, and then there'll be just another wave of publicity for the IFOCE.
Oh, yeah.
It's
a growing sport, and I liked it.
Your call.
It really doesn't. I've actually lost weight doing it.
Listen to me.
Oh.
Listen to me. First, A, it's not a sport. And B, you don't lose weight by being in a compulsive overeating organization. Maybe because you don't eat properly. You should be happy to be out of this dumb thing and eat better. And you want this girl, so get on with things. You've done this already. It was fun. Just move on. I say you move on and you work on getting the chick. And even if you don't get her, you get another chick. You like Mother once said, you put down one thing and you pick up another.
Mother.
I think you're better off, Pat. It's bad for you to be shoving hot dogs into your face till you vomit.
But this is all he had.
No, it's not.
Pat, this is all you had, right?
You have 9 toes.
Oh, he says he's got nothing now.
Hey, Pat, what do you want the pests to do? They're standing by. You want them to write emails? What do you want them to do?
Well, I don't mind them voicing their opinion. I wouldn't really attack. But voicing your opinion, serious emails only.
You still have hope.
You know what serious emails only mean on our show, by the way?
He knows.
What's that?
You do know what serious emails only means on our radio show, right? It's a code word.
As far as I know, it means serious emails only.
No, it means screw with them to no end. It's a code word.
It's a code, you ass.
It's like Torah.
What do you want them to do?
Yeah, just express their opinion, and maybe that'll do me some good. I don't know.
All right, where do they go to express their opinion?
There's IFOCE.com.
Okay.
That's George Shea, Shea Communications, and you'll see all the contact information there. And there's a message board, eatfeats.com.
Eatfeats.com.
F-E-A-T. Not like, eat feets.
Well, Pat, hold on. Eatfeats, EATFEATS.com.
Right.
Not like what diabetes is doing to his feet.
Hey, Pat, have you seen the video on break.com?
Oh, yes. My favorite one's the one where you see Anthony losing his stuff there.
Yeah, there's a lot of different versions of this. We had a lot of cameras in studio.
Like the puker film.
Yeah. There's one version on break.com. It's up to 1.1 million views, Pat. You don't need this IFOCE anymore. You're a star, Pat. You're a star because of that video.
Well, it's a new day in the world.
You're on the IPUCK.
Right. All right, Pat.
I say that even if they try to reinstate you, you tell that guy to go jump in the lake until he stops using the word effluvic. Tell him you won't be a part of any organization where the man uses effluvic.
Effluvic. Did you know that there was a code of conduct? And where is this code of conduct?
It's somewhere. I don't know where. I'll give you a good example. They had a turkey challenge last year where I was goofing around and I was throwing turkey on my head.
Right, I remember that.
They didn't invite me back, and the guy on Channel 11 News was saying, "Where's Pat from Moonachie? We need him." Because nobody else would throw turkey on their head.
Yeah, you put the turkey on your head, and it was really funny.
Yeah.
Pat with turkey on his head.
Yeah, and they're trying to have this kind of dignity.
Well, you're madcap antics, Pat. There's no place for them in the IFOCE.
Yeah.
Turkey on the head.
Yeah, you're like the...
What's that?
Right.
Yeah.
You're like the guy that does too much of the victory dance in the end zone, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're a showboater.
All those guys are jerks.
Showbooter.
Hey, are there any progress with the girl?
No, we're just spending time together. Everything's wonderful.
Have you told her you love her again?
Yeah, yesterday, and I plan on saying it today, too.
Every day.
Every day he'll say that.
Is she helping you through this tough time?
Yes, she's consoling me.
Yeah.
All right. I think we got to let you go. I think CNN's going to be calling any second, so.
Ooh.
Poor Pat.
Is the media calling you, Pat? Are they knocking down your trailer door?
Yeah, the phone keeps beeping. There's people on the other line.
Yeah.
People tell me I gotta go.
Hey, hold on a minute. We got Pat Duffy on the line. Pat?
Ah.
Baby bird.
Pat.
Baby bird.
Can we get both of them in here somewhere?
Where's Pat Duffy?
Hold on, Pat Duff.
Pat Duffy.
What's up?
There you are. Okay.
Ooh, baby bird. What's up, boys?
What's going on, Pat Duffy?
Nothing, man. I want to apologize to my mama bird.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
Pat
baby
Duffy was on the
bird.
receiving. Yeah, he was on the. Okay,
You hungry?
guys know.
I am. Oh,
Yeah, Pat was on the receiving end of
Pat
Pat
Duffy
from
was.
Moonachie's
Right.
big puke.
Puke
big
fest.
Puke fest is puking.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Hey, Pat Duffy, question for you. Would you ever do puke stuff again for our radio show?
More than anything in the world.
He's the
I
great.
would absolutely do it.
I don't think he could ever top it, so I say retire.
No.
Sometimes you got to just retire when you hit the top. What?
I think Pat Duffy's found his forte.
Yeah.
Pat Duffy rules.
Pat, has your life
I was
changed?
on my forte.
Pat Duffy, has your life changed since Friday? What? Walk us through your world.
It's been ridiculous. Like, everybody's been calling me. It's just been crazy. Like, I'm known as the puke guy now. It's crazy.
He's the
I've
puke
had,
guy now.
I've had about over 150 MySpace requests. It's just crazy.
Yeah, you're Pat Duffy on MySpace. Is that it?
Yeah. Can I give it out again?
Yeah.
MySpace.com/all-purpose cleaner.
Oh, that's right. All-purpose cleaner.
All-purpose cleaner.
That's
The
Pat
more friends
Duffy's
I have on the
MySpace.
internet, the better I feel about myself.
When did your did your ear clear? Because we found out later in the day that your ear was clogged from Pat from Moonachie's puke.
I'll tell you what. Every time my ear pops still, it like cracks and hurts a little bit.
Oh.
And I've had a nasty cough all weekend.
He's got an ear infection or not, because eggnog keeps dripping out. Ew.
You got an ear infection and you're sick from Pat from Moonachie's puke.
Yeah. Whatever Pat had, you now have.
Yeah.
Did you swallow any of that?
Yeah.
Just the first shot I swallowed, the rest of it I just spit out like a good.
Oh, wow. Oh, God.
It's just a natural reaction to swallow it.
And Pat Duffy, of course, you've seen the video on Break.com, right?
Yeah, about 100 times, yeah.
Yeah, it's something happened overnight. By the way, this video has taken on a life of its own. We were at about 500,000 hits after the show yesterday. This morning, as we sit here, it's over 1.1 million views on Break.com alone.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
My ex-girlfriend actually called me up crying, telling me that it wasn't me, and she didn't even know who I was anymore.
Not only was it you, but that's the same mouth you've kissed her with.
This is true.
Pat Duffy, that made you a rock star. Don't you worry.
I know. It's awesome. I can't even believe it. Overnight internet sensation.
Hey, listen, bro. My first big hit on the O&A show was getting arrested and going to jail for being on a bus with a bunch of naked girls. I mean, it's the odd stuff that helps you, bro. It's the weird little stuff.
That's
right.
right.
That's my next step, then.
All right.
Good boy.
Anything else, guys?
That's it.
Pat
I just
from
want
Moonachie?
to say I'm sorry to Pat. I feel really bad, and I feel 50% responsible.
No,
That's
you're
all
a
right,
good boy.
baby bird. You let me know when you're hungry again.
All right, I will. Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
Yuck. Yuck.
You know we'll do that in front of thousands of people someday.
Well, yeah.
Maybe at the O&A Traveling Virus next summer.
Or maybe somebody throws up in a store and somebody eats it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, Pat Duffy, thank you, sir.
No problem, boys. I'll talk to you later.
Goodbye,
We'll see you in
sweetie.
January when you start your internship, all right?
I can't wait.
All right, there
All right,
goes
so
Pat
long,
Duffy.
guys.
Later.
Bye, Pat.
Oh, Pat.
Bye, Pat.
Ugh, you got a cold.
And there goes Pat from Moonachie.
He got sick, and he's got an earache.
Yeah.
By the way, that's another reason we might be sick. Me and Anthony have both got like sore throats because all the germs in that room from the
That were
puke.
floating around.
Yeah.
No, there's not
Oh,
germs
my
floating around
God.
a room after
No.
people puke.
Yeah, there was 12 people
No.
vomited.
I think
Why
it
did
was.
anyone else get sick?
I think it was that damn airplane. I don't know.
I don't know. Steve is sick.
Every time I'm on
Steve,
an
you're sick?
airplane.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
You've been struck with the shaven arm syndrome.
I knew that was coming back.
Yes, you have arm AIDS, arm cancer. I'm getting chemo in my arms, my shoulders and my forearms.
It's just Nair.
I hate that perfect line. Could you, if you don't see Steve, he looks like he's wearing a tank top over a monkey sweater. Why don't you just shave it a little unevenly so it looks natural?
You know what it looks like? It looks like it looks like body armor.
Yeah.
Like you shaved body armor into your chest.
I was trying to make it look, I didn't want to shave my chest because I don't like the way I look when I shave my chest.
And
but
you like the way you look that way?
no, I really didn't want to run out of shirts, but I ran out of clean shirts. This was the only clean thing I had left. Everything else was dirty.
Steve is hairy from head to toe.
Yep.
Your chest hair definitely meets up with your beard.
Yeah, it does. I have to
So
shave.
you have to shave in between to make it look show people where the chest actually begins.
Yeah. There's actually a line right here, and then I nared everything else.
Oh,
You truly are a bear.
How do you do your back? Do you shave it, or does Jane Goodall help you?
Yes, I have help.
Yeah.
I
I'm
have
in the
help.
mist.
They're checking you out on Pal Talk right
Oh,
now.
lovely.
All right, listen. Why don't we relive the baby bird moments from the eggnog drinking contest? This is how it went down on Friday. Maybe not.
Oh, Opie.
He's just drinking now. He's up to 76.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Here it goes.
The baby bird is going down.
The baby bird is happening.
The baby
It's happening.
bird is happening. Oh my God! Oh my God! No way! God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
I almost wet myself. I swear to you. I'm laughing so hard. I have never...
We lost Jimmy. He's laughing so hard he ran into the corner.
A thunderous round of applause.
Down goes Pat. Down goes Pat.
He's wearing puke blackface.
That was the greatest moment in radio history, period.
Yeah.
It's impossible to top that.
Yeah,
There's no topping it.
I can listen to that another 10 times. It's just an amazing moment.
The build, the slow build,
Yeah.
the wave after wave that happened. Oh, it was just disgusting to watch. And the amount, the sheer amount that came out of him.
You know, that's our...
Opie, what's
Something
going on?
must be happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't listening earlier, Pat from Moonachie was kicked out of the IFOCE because of the baby bird video that is being viewed like crazy on Break.com and other fine websites.
International Federation of Competitive Eating.
He got kicked out because of his conduct during the baby bird video that everyone has seen at this point.
Pat was in the Nathan's 4th of July hot dog eating competition, so he's been in, the big ones. So he traveled to Atlantic City and other places for potato eating and stuff. He was really into this, and he'd been in it for about a year, and it was a big part of his life and made him very happy.
Well, from the IFOCE, we talked about him earlier this morning. It's George Shea. George.
Hello.
Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show.
Thank you for having me.
George Shea. What is your exact position? What do you do with the organization?
I'm chair of the IFOCE.
Chairman. So you oversee all the rules and regulations and make the decisions?
I do. Also, obviously, we have a board and a commissioner in this type of stuff. But yesterday's decision I was certainly involved in, and I understand there's been quite a bit of discussion.
Yes, a lot of discussion, a lot of controversy. Two sides to this whole story.
We were very surprised that you could actually get kicked out of a competitive eating league.
Well,
it seems like a goof sport there, George.
No. I mean, if you guys, you mentioned Nathan's earlier, and certainly there are other major events where you have, literally a billion media impressions. You guys know all about this coming out of something, and when you do that, it's certainly a real thing. It's a powerful thing, and people are involved. And in our case, not a lot of money, but nonetheless. We were at the IFOCE, and I have a major announcement to make, but I will preface that by saying Pat has always been an asset to the IFOCE. We deeply feel that he is a national treasure, and he's a treasure of our organizations because he brings levity and he has a certain, demeanor that's very nice to be around. However, we were disappointed by the video, which we felt went against the good taste.
Okay.
However, based on an enormous outpouring of support by your listeners, who have reached out to us with many, many emails asking that Pat be reinstated, we are going to review the expulsion.
Oh, no. Why did you... He was just going to say... Oh, no. Oh, is he back?
Because there might be some phone calls from people who are concerned.
Yeah.
George?
Hey, Pat.
George, you there? George?
Pat from Moonachie. Pat, listen, you know the deal. We're on the road, West Palm Beach, Florida. The equipment's a little...
the phones.
It's not what we're used to, and something seemed to have gone awry as far as the phones.
I don't think my picture in the IFOC is too bright.
So I don't know what George was about to say. Maybe George could call back.
Is there any way we can get him back and Pat could maybe talk? Because it sounded promising, Pat.
Yeah, until I heard that click.
All right, why don't we...
Something happened.
I'm back,
I
guys.
feel so bad.
George,
there he is. I'm sorry.
I don't know if that was us or you, but there seemed to be a cutout.
We've had problems with the phones.
We're at in West Palm Beach at a station down here, and not at our usual place that we broadcast from in New York, so the phones are a little screwy. We've been having trouble with them the whole day, and we apologize for that, especially for something as important as this, that this is
problem.
to Pat.
That's no problem.
Because he is a great friend of ours.
I will continue, because I think this is a matter of significant importance.
Yes, absolutely.
And what is that, sir?
We have decided...
he was going to decide something. I really love competing in Nathan, you guys.
Poor Pat. I've also decided something. I want to shove a Nathan's hot dog up George Shea's ass. Oh, no. Oh. Someone is calling dog shit sniffer.
You guys are binge blocking.
Dog shit sniffer from Woodside. Opie, you are the hawk to the baby bird.
Oh, he was just ready to make another big announcement decision.
All right.
The stupid phones are so irritating.
I hate this.
Yeah, Pat.
Nothing could be more frustrating.
Pat, hang in there. We got the engineer here in West Palm Beach.
I was so close to being back in.
No, he's doing some tweaking as we speak. The engineer down here in West Palm Beach, Florida. So.
Maybe this should be done. Maybe this should be done before the show is on the air, and we should have these phones fixed.
Right.
My goodness.
Yeah, there's a little bug in the system.
Yeah, a little bit.
If you will.
Yeah. Is there any way to get George back on the line?
Yeah, make sure.
I feel bad about this. Maybe to give him a different line or something?
Yeah, were there any listeners that wanted to talk to him?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't think you guys are giving the sport it's the respect it's due.
Hey, Pat, before we get George Shea back on the line, what do you think of George Shea?
I think he's one of the wonderful characters of competitive eating.
Oh, that's not what you said earlier there, Pat.
I was kind of groggy before. What did I say?
George Shea.
Yes.
Hi, George.
What's up?
Again, I got to apologize. This is embarrassing on our behalf. We're trying to, get to the bottom of this and hear what you have to say about Pat. Pat's very excited for what he's heard so far, but the phone keeps petering out on us. And, again, I have to apologize. I'm sorry.
Well, apology accepted.
Thank you, sir. Now, as you were saying, is there a consideration being made? A special circumstance, perhaps?
And can I jump in for a second? Because,
yes,
George, you did say that you were getting a lot of people sticking up for Pat and emailing and calling the IFOCE?
We've had an enormous number of emails saying that he's a great eater. I mean, people know that he's a great eater. He went to the big contests.
Yes.
Well, we got one of those guys that's stuck up for Pat from Moonachie on the line here. It's Steve. Steve from...
Steve, where's Steve?
Yellowstone. Steve from Yellowstone.
All right.
You're on with George Shea from the IFOCE.
Oh, my God. Hello, is this Mr. Shea?
Yes.
Hi, I've been a big fan of competitive eating, and it just really seems like the whole sport of it has taken off and become quite popular. Have you noticed that the razzle-dazzle of everything is really beginning to pick up in the public eye?
Well, I haven't seen that. It's sort of been steady in my mind.
George Shea, Sam, and the food begin to change with Robert Reed. Eating is not a competition. It's a way to cover up molestation memories. Nathan has the same nutritional value as the feces of a cancer patient.
Wow. George.
I'm here.
Comment?
Yeah.
I couldn't understand it, but he was
he sounded very energetic, to say the least.
Well, clearly this is an incident that's produced great emotion.
This organization is full of fat pigs.
He's still on the line. Again, the phones. We obviously can't hang up on pranksters either.
Shut this Coney Island jerk-off up!
So, George, what can we look for as far as Pat's future goes with the organization?
Well, I think it's best that I email over a full statement.
Oh, well, that would be nice.
And that way you can review it and see what your take may be.
But I got to tell you something though. Pat is on the edge of his seat over here. It's because the whole rest of it is full of junk. You ever see his place? Ugh. But he really would like.
We have established an independent panel of eating veterans, which we call the Baby Bird Study Group, to review the entire incident and to issue a full report, which, if you like, we would literally send you a written report.
Yeah.
With recommendations, and we feel that there may have been a rush to judgment.
George, enough with the jokes. Were you guys really offended by the Baby Bird video?
Well, I've been around for a long time of competitive eating. I found it a little disquieting.
I'm thinking of hiring Al Sharptongue or Gloria Allfed.
Allfed. Sharptongue.
Wow.
He's a funny guy. He used food references with lawyers.
Wow. Very good.
How do you not want this guy to represent your organization?
Absolutely. Even though Pat's more like Johnny Bomrin.
What I have found most appealing about Pat is his dancing.
His dancing? Yeah. Well, yeah, I think the IFOCE needs Pat from Moonachie.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it broke my heart because I was involved in this, and I will say that there has been, in addition to your listeners, there has been a
Organization
lot of
breaks
people.
hearts.
What?
Huh?
What?
So you get it? They eat so much? Break heart.
George.
Right with the reach. Yeah, we want Pat back in.
All right, well, gentlemen, I'm going to email this over to your producer. That we hope to have a full report and a final decision in days, because the issue is he may not actually have violated. I think that the panel suggests that he may not have violated his contract, and the question is code of conduct, and they want to see if there are mitigating circumstances.
They made me do it.
Well, what are you guys going to be looking for in the video?
Well, the issue is the video. I think the contents of the video are clear. The issue is, does it violate the contract, which in my initial reading of the contract, it doesn't. But the question is code of conduct. Was it behavior unbecoming an eater? And if so, did it warrant a full expulsion or perhaps a more moderate penalty?
I think it was his own time, you know.
Sure.
And since it's his own time, there's nothing wrong with a little vomit on another man during your own time.
And Pat has done nothing but talk up the competitions. He speaks very highly about them. He doesn't mock what they're about. I mean, he's always had very positive things to say about them, even though
I'm wearing
in
my
our contest.
IFOCE shirt as we speak.
Yeah, he's very proud to be a member.
It's all he's got.
Listen, there's no question about that. There's no question about that.
And he's a good member.
Yeah.
Well, that is certainly what would be taken into consideration. Guys, I'm going to send this over, and we literally will produce a report in days that we will send.
Mr. Shea, I have a question about the thing. Do you think that the code of conduct, I mean, like, I understand that every organization has to have one, and you guys do have one, correct?
Yes.
So do you think that when they say take a code of conduct, do you find that as the competitions become more popular and the eaters become, say, more verbose, has that made things like, you know, like when you go back over the whole history of the organization, would you say that that's the difference?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, meaning that it's...
Right.
Yes.
Why?
You know, I've given it a lot of thought. I think that Pat is a great example of the evolution of the sport.
He is.
Wow.
Because he's a celebrity, really. Celebrity first and foremost. And in some ways, almost an eater second.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And a person at 34th.
But you know, there's a deep and abiding love of Pat here. I mean, I think you'll find to a person in the IFOCE, whether it's on the staff or in the members, they love Pat. There's no question about that.
How do you not?
He's a lovable guy.
All right.
Okay,
well,
but we will send over a report, and I hope to have a resolution of this within the week, before the weekend.
Thank you, Mr. Shea. We appreciate that very much.
Thanks, George.
There goes George Shea from the IFOCE. Sounds fake, but you know what?
He's doing his bit.
The reality is, it is real. He's just hacking it up for the radio.
He's doing his shtick.
But he wants to
trying to make it a fun thing. But I think Pat will be back in. Yeah, the guy could have laid off the hacky friggin' trying to make jokes.
Right.
George from Moonachie.
What's wrong, Jimmy?
Yeah, but yeah, really, George from Moonachie. He makes your jokes look really, really good, Pat. So
Yeah.
that's why you might want to stay with the organization.
Jimmy?
I need the juxtaposition.
Jimmy?
I heard the phone connection wasn't up to par. I'm very, very annoyed.
Well, it was the cell phone.
You heard a few of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Fat pig. Yeah, Fat Pig was the worst one.
All right. Thank you, Pat. We'll see what happens, okay?
All right. Things are looking up.
And a little reminder, the second video from the eggnog drinking contest featuring Sergeant Magoo puking into a beer pitcher, then pouring it over the Fruit Loops, and then having everyone eat it, is now up on break.com on the front page.
I think one of the peppermints is checking in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and saying, I guess threatening to publish his home phone number changed his mind.
Oh, really?
Nice. Yeah. You know how those peppermints can be.
Jesus Christ.
We heard about them yesterday. They're the secret society.
We learned about the peppermints yesterday, yeah.
That fucking kid yesterday, I guarantee you what he does is he goes undercover. Like, he'll pretend he's a new baby in the neighborhood, and he fucking sneaks into your place, and he gets all the fucking info on you. He's an undercover baby. That's what that kid does.
Undercover baby.
He'll sit in the bassinet, and he'll go like, wah, wah, and meanwhile, the whole time he's fucking jotting shit down and recording and contacting the other peppermints. That Josh is a good boy.
A good peppermint.
He's a good boy.
When we get back, we'll continue with the blog from the old people still have.